Well, hello everyone. This is the Please Let's Have More 6 p.m. starts episode of the Missing Wolves post-game podcast live stream thing. I'm your host, Andrew, beat reporter for Zone Coverage. And today we got Tim Garrison of Canis Hoopus and Wolves Twitter extraordinary. Tim, how is it going, man?
Hey, it's going well. Happy Sunday. Pretty epic day over here in Minnesota Sportsland. We have the Wild with their big trade for Quinn Hughes. They get the win. The Vikings are currently on in the background here, and we have a nice win to break down for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, Wolves, this is 7 of 8. I mean, even if you want to go back, 9 of 10? Or no, because they lost to the Sacramento Kings. They vomited all over themselves, lost to Oklahoma City. So 7 of 10. But, 7 of 10. We'll take that in the Western Conference. I know a lot of people are saying schedule negates some of that. But, Tim, I mean, how impressive is it that this team has found a way to, I mean, at time of recording, they're a game and a half out of the 2 seed, despite having their fan base in a civil war on Twitter?
You'd never know it. Right? You'd never know that this team is actually stacking some wins together. It hasn't been perfect. It strongly feels like they've never really hit their full stride. We're yet to see the finished product, which, given the fact that they are where they are, that should be really encouraging. I don't think it's being talked about enough what we're doing really well. And we're sitting here in a good spot despite how much criticism and how many pitchforks are out in Wolves Twitter trying to track down the nearest point guard that can play tomorrow.
Which, I mean, first I want to touch on just I agree with you. Like, I think there's a lot of things to be negative about this team. I like there just is. The first 3 quarters of it seems like the last 12 basketball games have been not ideal, but then they come out in the fourth quarter, and I've been tweeting out, I can't remember who originally did it, but someone made a graphic or a tweet during the Lynx season that like they bullshit around for 3 quarters and then boom, 10-0 run and they win the game. Like that's just kind of the Wolves this season, where they just kind of seem like they are just going through the motions, or they're missing a lot of easy shots, or the defense isn't great. And then just boom, 10-0 run and the game is over. And it happened again tonight. I don't know how sustainable that is, but I kind of take your side of it of like, at some point, this team is going to figure out how to carry that over for more than just 4 minutes and a quarter.
Right. Right now, it's almost a great time to lose Ant for a couple games. Because leading into his absence, it kind of feels like the team wasn't playing. The team around him is not playing that well. It just seems like there wasn't much mojo outside of Ant going and scoring 40 points. So it almost feels like a well-timed absence, and you're starting to see the other guys pick it up. You're seeing some other guys get some opportunities that they wouldn't have normally had. And I think getting that mojo and getting that rhythm of extended run and in different roles where they're not out on the side while Ant goes and plays hero. Not that that's a bad thing by any means, but I think that they're starting to catch that rhythm.
Well, and I've kind of been of the mindset that like if the Wolves are going to say Ant is kind of their lead guard, point guard, whatever you want to call it, like just go full Harden, like just surround him with shooters and D&3 guys and just go full Harden, like don't dip your toes in. But I think tonight you see out of Bones Highland the kind of counter to that of like he doesn't need to be perfect, but 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, made all of his free throws, 2 turnovers. Like it's hard to say that like just having that guy that Mike was the last 2.5 years, and before that it was Austin Rivers or Patrick Beverly or whoever. It seems like that really does have a calming effect on this team. So I kind of wonder, like, are you in the camp of Ant kind of needs that point guard structure with him, or are you feeling okay with kind of what they have right now?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think you and I broached the subject last time I was on, following the Spurs. I think that was about 2 weeks ago. I'm not really convinced we need a true to God point guard. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, I put out the name Kyrie Irving a lot. That's my dream target. And he's a point guard, right? But the reason why I like him so much is not because of the point guard aspect. It's actually because of the off ball aspect. He can hit threes. He can attack the paint. They really just need somebody else that can be a pressure valve for Ant. Get to the paint, get the defense kind of in the spin cycle, as Jim Pete would say. So I think I don't want to label it solved, but I'm willing to be open minded. We have, what is it, 2 months till the trade deadline, 7 weeks to the trade deadline. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for the team to figure it out and see if they can start to, add back Ant into the mix and see what they can do. See if they can find their ball movement. See if they can hit that gear that we haven't really seen yet this year. So yeah, what are your thoughts seeing these last two games? Are you still in the same camp?
I am. First, Teresa, thank you for listening. And I promise you that Ant's injury wasn't strategic, but it does seem to kind of, it's a good time. I agree with you, Tim. Like it's a good time to at least answer some of these questions. And again, I don't think Achilles tendonitis is something you can just like fake, but I think Mike's injury is kind of at a good time as well. Like, let's just be honest. Finch is going to play Mike. He has a 4+ assist to turnover ratio. Like he doesn't make mistakes when he screws up on defense. He funnels them to Rudy. Like Mike is not going anywhere. But if Mike is injured, it kind of forces Finch's hand a little bit of trying different things. And I mean, honestly, like the perfect world of Rob is the point guard that Ant would be really good next to, right? Like Ant draws the double, goes into a pick and roll, hits his read wherever it may be. They swing it to Rob, and Rob is able to attack with that quickness and that just burst and create that even more disadvantage, because then you have like the post having to collapse on Rob. Like I'm not sold that Rob's going to get there this year or next year or ever, just to be honest, because it's really hard to be an undersized point guard in the league. But like if Bones is able to do that, like that helps a lot. Don't know what your name is because it's just an arrow emoji, but bow and arrow emoji. What's going on with Shannon? Honestly, that kind of ties into this. Is like I think Shannon is a guy that could solve that problem as well. Like you kick it out to Shannon on that, like defense is rotating. Shannon is such an like aggressive, violent player that he's going screaming at the rim. Like there's other pieces this team has that can kind of create that.
Yeah.
It's just which one of them is going to work. And if none of them work, then like, yes, they have to go make a trade. I would prefer they don't trade away like all of their assets, but like if none of them are going to work, like you got to do something, which maybe that is a Rob and some seconds going to somewhere to get a guy that fits a little better. But yeah, it's definitely been, I think one of the more alarming things is just like this team has been so dependent on running so much through Randall, and it's tough. I would like to get your thoughts on the Shannon of it all, though, because I've seen some people on Twitter, Jonah, who writes with or for Zone Coverage with me, did an article on like Shannon's reliance on his left hand doing everything. I heard Jim Pete talk about it the last broadcast. Like, do you think it's that simple, or do you think he's still hurt or confidence? What's kind of your thought?
I was really high on TJ coming into the season. He's somebody I was really excited to see, and I honestly missed the left hand reliance. I did read that article that Jonah put out. It's a great article. We should probably put it out
Jonah's
after this
awesome.
one.
Like, if you're not following Honcho J-Man on Twitter.
It's a great article, and it kind of opened my eyes of, okay, maybe what's going on is he's just been effectively scouted, which would suck. That would not be a good development for TJ. And to make matters worse, to compound maybe him being just simply scouted, is he has not been a good defender. He's fouling. He's not defending without fouling. He can hardly stay on the court. And I do think he's a good shooter. I think he's a lot better shooter than he's shown. But if you're getting yanked and you're unable to stay on the court, you can't really find a rhythm. That's going to bring down your shooting percentages too. So I do think you're able to improve your offhand. I think that's something he can get better at. But I think it's going to be something that's an issue this year, and that's a big blow to Minnesota. They were very if that's true, they were very reliant on TJ to replace that production from Nikhil Alexander Walker. And if you're not going to get that, you really need something like Bones to come out of nowhere and start taking a rotation spot. So I'm a little nervous. I'm not panicking. I think he's still a good player. He's still explosive, same athlete, same shooter that I've always believed in. I think he can be a good defender, but I'm worried he's not going to do it this year until he can prove that offhand.
One of my favorite things about Chris Finch is there's kind of two things. One, he always falls on the sword, like no matter whose fault it is, like Finch will just fall on it almost to a fault. Like I kind of wish he would throw people under the bus once in a while, but like he really doesn't. It's like if there's any question, he's just like, yep, my bad. And then like sword suicide. I don't know what that's actually called. Maybe I shouldn't say suicide on YouTube. Erase that from the record. Anyways,
scratch it.
The other thing I really appreciate about Chris Finch is that he is very honest about why guys fall out of the rotation. And we asked him about it at practice last week, and he was just like, hey, TJ's defense is not good. He's fouling too much. And then his take on it, or like what he's seeing, is that TJ just has probably been so reliant on his athleticism his entire life that like he can get back into position quick enough to like contest a shot, or if somebody's about to blow by him, he's able to slide in front of them and kind of block them off of their driving lane. And now it's the NBA. Like the worst athlete in the NBA is still 100 times better than probably anyone I've ever met outside of doing this. And unfortunately, like TJ can't recover as fast. And if that's the case, where he's having to like reprogram his brain that he needs to be 2 feet off the ball instead of 3.5 feet, like it's kind of like you said with his left hand, like he can learn how to do it, but like in season, when you're on the road every day, when you're not playing, you're having like recovery days, like it's going to be really hard. So if he doesn't have like a good right hand and he's reprogramming himself how to get into position defensively, it might just be he's out of the rotation and Jalen Clark's playing, which Jalen Clark's also been another player though that seems to have just these mental lapses at times.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing because he was almost Mr. Consistent last year, and I still think he's a good defender. I feel like things just happen positively when he's on the floor, and he's had a couple gaps this year, but he's going to get those reps and he's going to clean it up a little bit. I have a lot of faith in Jalen Clark being an effective playoff rotation player. But let's go back to Bones.
Let's talk first.
Let's go back to Bones here.
Tezzy asked a question about Colby White really quick. I'm just gonna answer it quick. So what I will say is John Krasinski is the most locked in guy like in Wolves media. Like I don't think a door closes in this arena without John knowing about it. And if John says he hasn't heard anything from the Wolves side, like there's probably nothing from the Wolves side other than like Matt Lloyd and Tim Conley work 60 to 70 hours a week. And what are you going to fill that time with? Like you're probably calling every team. Same with like the New York chatter about wanting Dante. Like I look at that came out and I kind of look at it of like, okay, well, the Wolves never leak anything. So like Chicago probably put that out to a couple reporters. And there's probably some third team, maybe it's like the Lakers that are trying to get Kobe White or who knows. And they're trying to get that, like them to make that trade sooner rather than later and add some extra assets in. So like, I don't think there was anything to it. That being said, like Tim Conley, part of the genius of him is like all of his trades have come out of nowhere, right? Like we kind of knew D'Lo was going to get traded. We had no clue we were getting Nikhil Mike in 3 seconds. We kind of knew like before the Rudy trade, like maybe something would happen. We didn't think it would be a Rudy trade. Before the Cat trade, we thought maybe something would happen. We didn't think it would be like the Friday before training camp. Like I just kind of, I don't put a lot of faith into that report. I'm sure the reporter that put it out heard it through sources through Chicago that are very reliable, but like I don't think there's much to it on the Wolves side, which kind of sucks because I think Colby White is the type of guy that you're probably looking for. But Okay, Tim, Bones
Yeah.
Highland. I'm gonna
Yeah.
let you just cook because
Okay.
this was kind of the epitome of Bones Highland, right? Like this is
Yeah.
this is why teams keep taking chances on him.
Oh yeah. What I wrote down too is the knock on Bones Highland has always been he likes to call his own number. He kind of gets himself into trouble. Maybe he's just a little unreliable or hot and cold offensively. But tonight he looked so calm.
Yeah.
And in command. And that was just a really cool development. Obviously, I got to see it a couple more games. With a guy like Bones, it's so hot and cold. I want to see it over the course of, 4, 5, 6 games. But it was a really encouraging way he played tonight, stylistically. And it's something that would fold into the current bench unit and something that we really need. So I thought it was a really encouraging game. I had initially teed up a Rob versus Bowens Highland for halftime, but I don't know how you can come out of that game thinking Rob should play over Bones, which is insane to me because about a month ago I was arguing that Rob should be the one playing hands down. So really encouraging. I just like the way he played. He played like a point guard. I don't think I've ever seen Bones play like a point guard before.
And Bones has talked about it a couple times to me since he's come into town. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't talk to him at all last season because he was here for like 3 weeks. But like training camp, I got to talk to him a little bit. Like earlier this season, I got to talk to him a little bit. And like both times I've talked to him, he's talked about like having to learn that like the reason Denver didn't go well was because of Bones Highland, not Denver. Like the reason it didn't work is because he was trying to get his shots and not trying to win. The reason the Clippers didn't work is because they got James Harden and didn't need him anymore. And like Bones was playing really good that first season. And then you see like once he gets thrown back to the bench and he's not getting minutes, all of a sudden like his shot isn't falling. He's turning the ball over at like a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio after like a 3-to-1 the year before. And he kind of falls out and now he's with the Wolves. And maybe it is just the first 2 places that it went wrong, it was because like this guy lost his spot and I don't think handled it well. But he's talked about like needing to grow from that and needing to learn that like he's got to kind of scrap and claw to get a spot, which I mean, if you're hopeful for Rob, like it's probably good to have a guy like Bones on this team that's had that happen to him twice. And that's something that if Rob has that similar headspace of like, if only I got the minutes, I'd show them all. Like, I think it's good to have a reality check of Bones of like, hey, I got the minutes, I did show them all, and then they chose someone else over me because I wasn't playing the right way. But like, if this is the Bones Highland we're gonna get again, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, had a couple tip balls, 2 turnovers. Defense was solid, like had 5 fouls, but like aggressive. It kind of fits in perfect, especially with like Nas. Like I think that second unit has such potential to just be a complete change of pace, which it kind of was once Rudy left the game, which I have no update on Rudy other than it sounds like he's having a second kid, question mark.
Yeah, I was curious about that. And it was kind of funny too. It was hopefully all is well. Kind of funny in terms of how you'd put out a tweet early on in the game that was on off for Rudy Gobert. Like, are we gonna figure this out? And then we ended up going on, I think we won by 15 in the second half. We outscored him by 15 points. And it was really cool, almost therapeutic to see him be that dominant without Rudy. Obviously, you want to win the offense and kill him with offense when you're not playing with Rudy and you have Nas and Randall out there. But I thought, with Jaden McDaniels, Mr. Jaden Two-Way McDaniels, I think they're finding a way to play defense and have enough length out there and physicality without Rudy. And that's just really, again, it's the Kings. It's the Kings. Got to put that disclaimer out there, but they're starting to stack some actual film of them being able to play without Rudy defensively, and that's encouraging.
The other thing I really liked, so the last game they lost to the Kings here in Minnesota. Yes, it was here in Minnesota. I think DeMar DeRozan, I want to say, had an ISO on Dante DiVincenzo for like 37 consecutive possessions. It felt like 37 anyways, and just cooked him. And like that's not Dante's foray, right? Like Dante is kind of the wrecking ball, just sometimes he's gonna chance it, he's gonna crash in recklessly for an offensive rebound. Like
Yeah.
Dante is like the hustle guy. But tonight they put Randall on DeRozan almost the entire fourth quarter, and it almost kind of broke DeRozan's brain of like, I can't back this guy down. And then it was just like panic shots almost, which to the like, we need to fire Chris Finch crowd, like that's coaching. That's Finch saying like, Dante, you had your chance. Randall, you're gonna go lock him down. Jayden, you're gonna go be on Keegan Murray and kind of float into the paint. I mean, I don't know. I think this was a pretty good coaching performance by Finch. How
Absolutely.
about you?
Yeah, I thought this is one of Finch's best games, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Just how the offense is flowing. I think everyone's playing really hard. They know where they're going. The off ball moving so good. And then I did see Jaden McDaniels on DeMar DeRozan at one point too, and I started cheering because I'm so sick of that guy going off on us every single time. He just cooks us like it's 1990. It's insane. So I was really happy to see Jaden shut him down in the third. And then I thought the way that Julius Randle is getting down in his stance the last couple games is unbelievable. He can play defense. It's just a matter of can you get it? Can you get in that stance consistently? So I just thought that was really cool to see the way he was playing on both ends, the way the whole team was playing. I personally think that Dante DiVincenzo, I wanted to make sure I shouted him out quick. I thought he was the heart and soul of the team. It just feels like every time we have these lackluster starts, Dante comes and makes a timely hustle play.
Yeah.
His big thing is 3-point shooting. He's not going to make every bucket. He's going to make maybe 4 to 10, and that's great. But he's going to miss a lot. But what he's been able to do in terms of just moving the ball offensively, attacking the paint, and just making hustle plays, tracking on the ball, diving for loose balls, it's kind of that tone setting that we've really needed. And I feel like we've been missing, maybe since a Kyle Anderson or year before that, Patrick Beverly. It's really cool to see him kind of become that heart and soul type of player.
It's so interesting too, because he's such a like unassuming guy. Like that sounds negative, but like you walk into the practice facility, says good morning to everybody, talks about like his favorite coffee places. Like he's not 6'3", 6'4". Like he's probably closer to like 6'1", 6'2". He, kind of soft spoken, quieter guy. And then on the court, he does like his little like, what was it, like a putback dunk or like a one bounce dunk that he had. He had like another 4 steals tonight, a couple of them where he just is like diving on the floor and like just mucking everything up. There's one on Schroeder where like Schroeder never turns the ball over on like bringing up the ball, like didn't even get trapped. He just kind of lost it. So like there are these moments where it's just he does have that it factor, which again, like when you're looking at like the trade market and like who would have to go out, like it's so hard to figure out a trade for this team because it's like if you lose Mike, I think the team kind of craters. Like that dude's I wrote a piece a week or two back of like he might be the second most important player on the team, which is insane. It's kind of the same with Dante. Like if you lose Dante, I mean, then you're hoping Jalen can be those sparks, and I just don't know how effective Jalen can be in that role unless they're getting just someone like that back, which there's not a lot of Dantes in the league. That's why everyone wants them.
No kidding. And I'm happy you brought that up too, because I just want to get in my soapbox quick about trades. Everyone's really hopeful about one. I mean, we're coming up on a major milestone, December 15th. That's when all free agent signings from this previous offseason are available for trade. But I think the date that people need to keep in mind and why this report, everyone got super excited about Kobe White a couple days ago. I don't think anything's going to happen until at a minimum January 15th. Why? Because what if you make a trade today and somebody comes available that you weren't expecting, or there's a trade structure from January 15th, which is when all bird rights free agent signings are available to be traded. There's a structure that could not even be legal right now. If you make a trade in panic right now, you might miss out on something way better a month from now. So it's just because of that, I just don't think it's going to happen unless it's an absolute no-brainer. Maybe you get a Pelicans Joe Dumars style no-brainer offer handed to your doorstep. But if that doesn't happen, they're not making a trade until at least January 15th. So I got that off my chest. So uh, yeah, I think with all the steam about Dante, I don't think you can lose that type of player. I think they will make a trade. It might be something smaller than people think. Maybe it's to fill out a rotation piece, maybe a smaller name point guard, or the big fish that they are targeting comes available. And it could be some fireworks. But ultimately, I think we have a team that, has some good pieces and has been playing less than the sum of their parts. And I just really want to see what happens over the next month. And I know a lot of people want a point guard, but just wait a month from now, because something better might happen. And who knows? Maybe Bones Highland kind of goes on a tear. Who knows? So just I don't think it's going to happen. Those reports, I believe there's some talks. That's what these guys do. It's like picture fantasy football league. People talking about trades. That's what these GMs are doing. They're always calling. And we're going to be linked to every friggin' point guard who can quasi handle a basketball over the next month and a half. It doesn't mean a trade's imminent. It just means that they're doing their job and doing due diligence.
I want to keep going on the trade side of it because I do think it's really interesting. But first, I'm going to throw us over to a couple ad reads.
Yeah.
Well, hello. Thank you, live stream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read, this time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com.
Real quick, somebody sent me a picture from the telecast where they had Julius Randle listed with like his points per game, points and all that post game, but it was Jimmy Butler's face. So shout out to that guy that sent me that, because that I just got a good chuckle out of that. Anyways, like I want to talk more about the trade side of things because I do think that's an important thing for fans to kind of understand, is that not only is it going to be hard to pull off a trade in season, like it's probably going to be a it almost assuredly would have to be like a 3-team trade where you're trading something to a third team to get picks to go back to a different team. Like if you're in the first apron, you need to match 90% of salaries. If you're trading with a second apron team, they can't aggregate. If it's a hard cap team, it's only 25% salaries. There's so many rules to this that like in-season trades in this new CBA are just going to be a nightmare. And like you say, bird rights people don't become available until January 15th. And I'm looking at the Wolves of kind of like, if they just wait until draft day, they can trade the kid they drafted, a la Walker Kessler. They can trade their 33 unprotected first round pick, and they can swap their 32 first round pick, and then you can put together an offer that's like Giannis worthy. They can't really do any of that right now, can they?
So there is a way they could do Giannis. It's so unlikely. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But the only reason why I think a Giannis trade is a non-0% chance. Well, there's two aspects. First, I think the Wolves could put together a compelling offer with the right third team. And the reason why they can is the Bucks don't necessarily own their next 2 first-round picks. So it does them no good to bottom out completely. And because of that, they'd be interested in a player like Jaden McDaniels. And so if you could maybe capitalize on Detroit, maybe they've had a long-standing interest in Julius Randle. So maybe you could assemble an offer all of a sudden of Jaden Ivey, Tobias Harris, Jaden McDaniels, and mesh together a 3-team trade where it could be a possibility. But Giannis has to want to come to Minnesota. On top of all that, and you'd have to part with Jaden McDaniels, which, to be honest with you, that's tough. But
it's hard to say that you would take Jaden McDaniels over Giannis.
Oh no, yeah, I would do it.
Like
I would do it.
Whole package of it, of like Jaden, Julius, Rudy, Rob, TJ, everyone you'd be giving up. It's tough. Whereas this offseason, you got 3 first-round picks. You'd have Rob, TJ, Jalen, Julius on a 1+1, Rudy on a 1+1. Like, maybe you could get by without offering up Jaden, but that's still like a very, very slight maybe. But I also, like, I don't know about you, but it doesn't make sense for the Bucks to trade him in season unless Giannis is like, I am going to burn this to the ground, because so many teams don't have their first-round pick.
Yeah. And I mean, he would have to indicate where he wants to go. He would have, like you said, he have to burn his way out. So ultimately, I think the Wolves, I don't think that team's gonna die, because Ant is one of the few players that he has mentioned by name. That's why I'm the only reason why I'm even talking about it. I wouldn't entertain it usually. The only reason why I'm talking about it is because he did name Ant publicly. But I like your idea of the offseason. I mean, unless Giannis is trying to burn it down, there's a little bit more flexibility. Maybe you could assemble a good enough offer to keep Jaden, which then it becomes a holy trade everything you can.
If you have Ant, Jaden, Giannis as your big 3, I think you're probably sitting pretty good for the next decade. Speaking of draft picks, I was a little bored at halftime, so I went on Tankathon. And I was looking at Oklahoma City. And currently, if the season ended today, they would have 2 top 10 picks. Like, at the end of the day, is all of this just kind of moot?
Yeah. Okay, I'm happy you brought that up.
They're going to lose Alex Caruso and have 2 top 10 picks.
I know. They're going to replace Alex Caruso with Daryl Peterson. Good Lord.
It's just insane.
I got to bring this up before I forget. One of my absolute favorite long-term players that I'd love to put next to Ant is Cason Wallace, just because he's a reliable ball handler, 90th percentile defender, and he can shoot a 3. You know what? The nice externality of them maybe having too much talent is they will have to end up parting with some of their talent. And let's be real. Anyone that they want to acquire, they have $1 billion first-round draft picks. Every team in the league is going to hold them over the coals about their packages and what they'd take from the Thunder. So I think there might be an eventual opportunity to poach some Thunder players, and Cason Wallace is at the top of my list. And that could even be as soon as this year, if they get Daryl Peterson. Hopefully they don't. Oh, please, God, hopefully they don't. But
if
would be an intriguing game.
And Utah continue to not be good, this is a Thunder team that could realistically, like, even trade up to the 1st overall and just pick whoever. Like, it's kind of insane. Like, looking at the 20,000 feet foot view of this, of like, the Wolves just need to keep giving themselves a chance and then just kind of hope, because like Oklahoma City is just, they are not going to get worse. Like, they have Shea, they have Chet, they have J-Dub, and everyone else on their team is just going to be replaced by a lottery pick every year. And that's kind of insane. I mean, just even for like long-term, like, how do you dethrone them? Like, that's where, and Wolves fans that are like, we need to start getting like championship or bust type of vibes. It's like, I just don't know how I think they could beat them in a series. I would not bet on it. But like, over 5 years, if the Wolves just keep putting themselves in position to potentially match up with them in the playoffs, like maybe someone sprains an ankle, like there's always that Toronto Raptors 2019 team. You know, there's always those weird teams that win it.
Yeah, it's, and I think the key to beating them currently is having multiple ball handlers and taking care of the ball. They're by NBA.com, they're a decent offense, but they get so much of their offense in transition and forcing turnovers. So if you take care of the ball and you play good enough defense, Wolves do one of those things. I think we can play good enough defense. I don't think at this time we can take care of the ball. But this is why I'm so enamored with the idea of Kyrie Irving if he becomes available. Yes, he's old. Yes, he's coming off of an injury. But the one thing he can do is playoff ball. He's done it next to 2 superstars already, and he's done it really well. Like 43% on catch and shoots. He's awesome. You can set yourself up to kind of have what the Pacers had. And if you look at last night, the Spurs, they have multiple ball handlers, multiple people who can break the paint and make him pay. So if you can just kind of get that elite ball handler, then you can have an offense that takes care of the ball, and you can play defense well enough, you can set yourself up, especially when you have Anthony Edwards. When you have someone that is that good, if you can just take care of the ball and play good enough defense, you have a chance. You have a puncher's chance. I don't think they're completely unbeatable, but you have to be perfect in a lot of areas.
I mean, that's the perfect way to say it. Like, the Wolves are putting themselves in position to have a chance if they were to get, like, if Bones ends up, this is just Bones, right? Where he's going to have 6 assists, 2 turnovers, 15 points, and 3 rebounds every night, like just in the aggregate. And he can attack off the drive. You can do a little 2-man bringing the ball up so you don't just get crushed by Caruso at the half court line. Like, there is like a chance they could beat the Thunder in the series, but like you said it perfectly, you have to be perfect. And so far in this team's history, they have not been able to be perfect. It's almost like you get these glimpses of like the Limitless pill when he takes the pill and like, it goes in on his eye, and like you get these sightings of like, man, they played basketball for 7 minutes and they completely blew a team out of the water, and that's all it took. But then there's the other 41 minutes, and I think Oklahoma City, if you give them the other 41 minutes, it's just over.
Yeah, and like that's what I go back and forth on. I think they can kind of figure it out. They can figure a lot of things out right here. But I still worry about Julius Randle being a central hub against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think if he is going to be one of the main hubs of offense, I just think that is the worst possible matchup for him. Unfortunately.
I mean, it is though. Like they have even like around Julius. Like Julius, I think part of his like charm in that role is, right, you get it to him on the block, and he is so strong that there's only like 10 players in the NBA that can actually like stop him from like backing them down, or like when he does that weird face up turnaround like Dirk Kobe thing that he does. Like there's not many people that can actually stop that. The Thunder have one of those people. And then like when you don't have one of those people, you send a double to him, and then Julius is able to make that weird jump pass at the last second to whoever's open. And it's like Oklahoma City just has perimeter defender after perimeter defender after perimeter defender that like the guy that has the mismatch is Cason Wallace is still on them. You know what I mean? Or it's Shea, who is an above average defender. I realize I'm sounding hopeless right now. Like there is a chance. Like the Wolves are a very well constructed team. Like maybe not perfectly constructed, but like they've done enough to where they can do it. And I kind of agree with you of like, wait until mid-January, see what Bones is, give Rob maybe another crack at it if Bones doesn't work out. Like make sure that guy isn't in-house. And then maybe that's the play is a trade. And if not, like they're going to have a lot of ammo this offseason.
And honestly, like don't get me wrong. Like if you follow my Twitter, I'm always like having Julius Randle trades. I love Julius Randle. I think he's been awesome ever since he got benched against the Warriors 11 months ago. I've just truly come to appreciate him. But this dialogue about the Thunder, how to beat them, the reason why I'm so open, if you can replace that second option with an elite ball handler who can play off of Ant, I think that just gives you a better chance to beat Oklahoma City. And that's who we have to catch.
Yeah.
Nobody else. I think against 29 other teams, I think Julius Randle is a great option. But it's tough against Oklahoma City, and that's why I'm so open to trading him. And that's why I'm so open to trading him for a 33-year-old Kyrie Irving coming off an injury. So I don't know. It's really tough because I just so appreciate how he's embraced Minnesota. I so appreciate what he's been to this team. It's just, how do you catch Oklahoma City? And I think it's going to be a high-level ball handler, and unfortunately, you're going to have to trade Julius to get that. He's that chunk, $30.8 million contract. Yep.
I mean, again, like, I don't want this to be like an all love to Tim Connolly podcast, but like that was the beauty in how he signed Randall and Reed over the summer, is like he made those salaries super like matchable. So like if you are taking swing, like, you know, Nas, Dante, and Rob, and you're at a max contract, Julius and Dante, you're at a max contract, Rudy and Dante, you're at a max contract. Like it is really well constructed for a trade, which is kind of why I'm excited for this offseason. Like if they make it during the season, I get it. Like they gotta make a swing. I'll cover the team the same way I do now, and I'll apologize to all the people I've said they're probably not making a trade to. But like this offseason, they're gonna have kind of the whole league to whatever disgruntled superstar is out there. They're gonna kind of be able to pick and choose. Which that's exciting. Like even that, especially when you got Ant and Jaden already locked up, like being able to kind of pick your third banana is exciting. And maybe it just ends up being Julius, and Julius continues the season on triple double watch. Maybe it's Kyrie, who knows? But Tim, we're at 42 minutes. I got to call it here. I do want to give you space though. Anything you want to promote, anything you want to shout out, where can people find you? The floor is yours, sir.
Yes, sir. First off, again, thank you for having me on. Always a pleasure to chat with you. Go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter, Tim Garrison MN, or at Tim Garrison MN. Always cooking up some trade ideas. I love talking about transactions. So I'm not trying to trade every player. I just love talking about transactions and possibilities. But most importantly, I like to talk about realistic, like what is CBA compliant. So go ahead and give me a follow if you like that type of speculation. Stay tuned. I got a couple things cooking in January, heading out on paternity leave 2.0. So gonna have a lot more time on my hands to get some content out. So get your heads in the swivel. Tim Garrison MN on Twitter.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. For everyone that is still listening to this at 43 minutes, if you came in late, this does come out as a podcast every following morning at 7 a.m. So it'll be December 15th on Monday. If you want to watch it now, because it's not 1 a.m. like it was after the Warriors game, this does publish over on YouTube as soon as we are done recording. It lives forever on X as well. And we will be back after Wednesday's game. So a little bit of time off without Wolves basketball. I don't know what we're going to do, but we will find something to talk about. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you Wednesday.